right, and welcome back everybody. This video is going to be more of a advanced topics video regarding CSS. It's something that has started by the W3 schools, I'd say in the last 2 to 3 years. Again, this is not required for your final. You do not need to go this route. This is just something that you should be aware of. Also, too, I point a lot of my students to this, especially in web and multimedia, that if they get to the end of their 2 years and they need to make a portfolio site in a hurry, this is an option. So this is through W3Schools.com. And let me go ahead here. I'm going to bring up the web page. I did provide a link in Blackboard for folks here. This is something that the W3 schools designed. It is called W3.CSS. It is a set of CSS that, again, the idea is that it works across all browsers. It will be responsive to whatever type of device a user is accessing your website on. And also, one thing that they do provide users is they provide, first off, again, it's free. But also the templates. The templates can be tempting. I have a lot of folks that will just want to dive right in. You still have to be familiar with the HTML language and the CSS declarations here. This little demo, what I wanted to do was I'm actually going to kind of take you through the workflow of, okay, I'd like to play around with a CSS template, one of the W3s. You scroll down along the side here, you're going to find a section just called W3.CSS templates. Here you can see, and actually I was looking at this before I started recording here, they've added more since I was last here as far as different layouts are concerned. So, and you can see you kind of have portfolio templates, photo templates. Let's see what else here. You've got interior design, restaurants, start pages, startups, app launch. And the thing is just because they're labeling with these, this doesn't mean that you have to keep it that way. It doesn't mean that, oh, because it says art template, it can only be an art template. You can go in and change around as far as the design goes. They've even gone here. Here's just a kind of real basic website. Here's a real basic social media, data analytics. Yeah, some of these are new, like they didn't have the travel agency or this house design. Kitchen sink demo template. So I'm going to go ahead here. Let me go back. I did grab one to kind of show you the workflow on this, and I think it was one of the restaurant ones. Yeah, they added a lot more. Here we go, the cafe. So you can either demo, and here you can see navigating here, or let me X out of that, you can try yourself. And this is where you would get your code here. So I can do a select all, copy, and then you would paste it into your HTML document. So, and actually that's what I've done here. I started just real briefly editing, but first off, what I'd like to show you here is you're starting out just like all of the other websites that we've worked on. You're still starting out as far as some type of website folder here. However, I'd like to show you here, I'm going to work with the sea turtle concept again to kind of draw into the demo one. Notice the difference here between the websites. I was able to shave down drastically, but that's because I'm storing all of the CSS on their servers, so I actually don't have any local CSS documents. That's probably the biggest drawback, that if you really like to be able to control your cascading style sheets, you are working with a framework of CSS here that you don't get to go in and edit the nitty-gritty. You're kind of playing by W3's rules on their CSS. So I'm going to go ahead here and double click this so you can actually see what you get whenever you do a copy paste and you get the website here. You still get some functionality here. You can see that, you know, however, you see there I've got my broken links for images and stuff like that. So need to go in and clean up a little bit here. So just to show you real briefly, so you've decided I'd like to play around with this in the future, and I'm going to open up Atom, and this is what you see here. So the first thing I remembered to do, since I do it on all my web pages, is I did change out that title. Now, a couple of other things I started looking for from a design flow standpoint was, okay, I've got my W3CSS. I actually have a font to a web page here for Google's APIs for the font family I'm using. And then I went and I started looking, here are those comments. So links, I changed them around a little bit because I wanted to save and help, not menu and find us. But notice too here, background image, BG image. I'm looking at this a little, and here you can see it says coffeehouse.jpg. This is that header image, and I'm guessing here that if I do img, oh, let's do turtle bubble.jpg. Whoops, I guess I didn't need to type that side out. And let's go ahead and refresh. Got your turtle in there. One of the drawbacks to the background here is I don't have a lot of play in that positioning there. So, but he is a very proud turtle, so we will let him run with that there. So, starting to make some edits. Going back here, I don't want it open from 6 to 5. I need to change the name, and we don't really need an address down here. So coming down, so here's my header with the image. And here I can see the divs that are containing that information. When I am working with somebody else's code, until I am at the very end of the overall design, I would strongly encourage you, don't delete anything until you know. If you're not 100% sure what's going to happen when you delete that, there is nothing wrong with going in and just commenting out here. So let me go ahead here, because there's my titles. So now if I go back, let's see what that did. Fantastic. It got rid of both of those little notes for me there. Maybe if I want like a web page or something, I could add that back in. So maybe I change this. White's a little hard to read. We'll change this to black. And instead of the cafe, maybe we will call it the turtle. And I could change up as far as font choices, things like that. We already have a pretty big size there. So going down the code here, so I've got about, maybe we change this over to turtle. I would maybe go in and add in some content regarding turtles. Maybe here I could do a second image here instead of that coffee house image. Maybe we do img/. Let's put the sea turtle in there, see how that looks. I'm saying to myself, you know what, we actually don't need to make a note to people that this is open and a location. So let's save and see how that looks. So here you can see that I'm just going straight down the code, picking out, you know, what I would need to change and edit as far as the overall design. And notice the biggest thing I would tell folks, and I've seen students and designers do this, it's okay to note that this is powered by W3.CSS. I wouldn't remove this from your footer. W3Schools was kind enough to upload and add this information, and it's okay to give credit where credit is due. Maybe let me scroll down to the bottom here just to show you what I might do. So let's see here, powered by, there it is, CSS, and then maybe I do a line edited by Miss E at CCAC. That's absolutely okay to add in something like that, or adding your email, or maybe, now maybe over Miss E you put your portfolio website link, etc. So I just wanted to point this out because the W3.CSS framework has started to pick up traction a little bit. However, I hope you're kind of seeing from me working through some of this, I hope you're seeing that, why we start out with those building blocks with the HTML and the CSS. So many folks, they want to dive right in and, oh, I'm going to make a website like this. Well, you want to make sure that you're comfortable enough with the code that you can actually come in and be able to read through it and find the locations of where you need to make edits and also things you would like to remove. For instance here, I don't want to just remove the spans here. I knew that I wanted to also remove the divs as well. So hopefully this gives some food for thought. I will upload this website demo 2 folder into the W3.CSS folder in week 10 as well, that if you want to play with it a little bit, or even if you want to download your own and give it a whirl, that's absolutely okay as well. However, again, please note that this isn't required for the final.